Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma practitioners, as human beings, we all are looking for happiness and satisfaction. So, this happiness and satisfaction has a history. And it is sometimes people look in conventional life. And according to the Buddha's teaching, the happiness and satisfaction means your ultimate liberation, the Nibbana or the wisdom, or recognizing the ultimate truth regarding this whole existence that's mean about you. So to get into this truth, one of the important thing is you have to get into the balance. So that is very necessary, because you cannot observe even in conventional life or your spiritual life, you cannot observe or you cannot practice or you cannot recognize with the unbalanced mind, even with the unbalanced body. So then in the very first level, you have to come to understand and develop a very balanced conventional life. So when it comes to that, still, even though we have many kind of knowledge and experience through the generations to generations, and we came through many human civilizations, and today we have many kind of science and technological help, and there are many kind of pharmaceutical product, but still we are failed to find this physical balance. And more than any other time, and people having sleeping disorder, and more than any other time, the people having eating disorder. So more than any other time, people misbehave physically. See that even though we have all the facilities around us, still we fail to at least find this physical balance. And why this happened like this way? Because we mostly follows others' ideas and the information whichever we gather from the outside world. And more than any other time, you don't believe, especially these young people, and they don't like themselves, and they don't like the way they look, they don't like their own hair, the hair, they don't like their own nails, they don't like their own skin, they don't like their own figure. See that how it came to that kind of situation in the world. Even though we are through the machines, through the product, through all the ideas, even though we become better, in our personal life, we're losing the balance. So then you have to think about it. It all over the world. It is more danger than this virus situation. And the people, and they are suffering without eating to keep their figure. They want to look more slim, more beautiful, because the way they look, they don't like. And because of that, when you stay hunger, when you hold the hunger for a while, and what happens, you become physically weak. That physical weakness effect for your mental weakness. Remember the ascetic Siddhartha, before he attained to the Buddhahood, went through 6 years, very difficult ascetic practice. He almost died. It is 2,600 years ago. And then what he understood, and you and me cannot, we didn't do that kind of hard things in our life. But what he went deeper, and what he understood. Putting too much pressure on your body and giving hard time to your body, you cannot find the wisdom. So that is a very important lesson. You have to look yourself. Are you pushing the limits physically? Forget about the spiritual goal. So then if you are physically become weak, what will happen? That weakness start to bring different kind of result. And then you become stressful, anxiety, depression. Why? Because you don't have the energy. And it just look that maybe, that you want to look like beautiful, what's the point? But inside you collapse. If you are collapsed inside, looking outside, the good doesn't make any sense. So then find the physical balance first. And the other thing is too much eating. There is no limit. And the obesity, and then you get the high blood pressure, cholesterol, and sugar, and many, many. So then find the balance. It is your own responsibility to keep some kind of discipline with you. Because without finding that physical balance, you cannot go beyond these physical things. First, you have to find that balance. It is very important. And always remember, this all related to your thoughts. And we think interference with the things. We feel good and eating, and then, and the sleeping, or even and escaping from that, we trying to find the good. But you have to understand your mind all over your body. And then if you are physically become weak, your mental state going to become weak. And if you are physically more uncomfortable with too much facilities, and that way also you're going to have a weak mind. So then in the very first level, get a very clear mental idea to find the balance with your physical body. And always keep look for that. And look for the feelings that you gain. If you feel weak, and then you have to eat. Don't have any conversation with the hunger. Don't, if anybody hungry, even the Buddha, if anybody hungry, the way before the Buddha gave the sermon, and the Buddha gave the food, So if anybody hungry, as you know, in animal world, the most of the animals attack because of the hunger or the fear. Otherwise, they don't. It doesn't matter whatever the dangerous animal, they attack because of the two things mostly. One is the hunger and other one is the fear. So the same thing, that the same behavior we also have. So then you have to look yourself. The anger has a deeper relationship with the anger. And even that if you keep anyone hungry, and that person very easily get angry. So then you have to look into yourself also. So don't remain hungry too long. And if you are hungry, eat something and don't eat too much. Eating is nothing wrong because all living beings depend on food. But the problem is we eat too much or we eat little. So then first find the balance with the physical. Don't sleep too much or don't sleep little. So like that in the physical world, find the balance. And when you are physically become balanced, your mental state going to become different. So that difference means once the physically you become balanced, your mind start to come to a natural level of balance. And in that level, the mind feel more comfort. So that physical comfort, that whatever you feel in your mind with your body is very necessary to go deeper into this spiritual investigation, because you need so much energy. With the weak mind, you cannot observe. Remember that. Even don't allow anyone to do it. Weak mind, with the weak mind, disturbed mind, you cannot recognize the reality. So another thing is, now you observe and experience. When the mind interfere with something, then that what you feel going to be different. So if you are mentally not interfere, you're not going to feel that way. In meditation, it is called mano sampassaya. The mano means mind, sampassaya means interference, association. Settle down with it. It's kind of like a hugging, grasping, clinging. So if the mind doesn't do it, the whatever that you physically feel, it's not going to bring kind of like a strong feedback to think about it. So the deeply, the behavior of the mind bring this all the result to you. So then remember in your life that whatever you physically even feel, and whatever you feel regarding your life also, always underneath this all, you have mental interference. Mentally, you are there. Mentally, you are hugging, grasping, clinging to that. So, if you experience this and if you recognize that, you know how to maintain your mind with less interference. So the mind itself is another way we call the samsara. The suffering itself means the way we think, not the way things happens. Things happen as they are, but whatever the situation, when we interfere with the mind, that interpretation is going to bring the suffering to us. So in day-to-day life, then remember, whatever come to you, if it is bringing you hard, difficult, sad, worry feelings, the very first level you remember, it because the way you interfere with it. So otherwise, you're not going to get that kind of feelings. So the mind is kind of like the electricity. You know, that electricity, when it runs through the wire in a certain level, if only one single wire, in a certain level, what will happen? The strength of the electricity or the current become weaker. If it is go through a single wire in a certain level, like 100 feet, 200 feet, and a kind of like that, and according to the strength of the wire, so it become weaker. So then what normally we see, the transformers and the joints, and the transformer create it bring the current or the electricity, and it is recharged there, rebuild it, and then from that, before it drop, and then it start to transform and send it to other place. Then before it drop, it bring and recharge and send. So the mind the same. If it doesn't recharge, if it is going just in a kind of like a single thought, the power of the thought drop. That means any kind of mind or the thought or the desire, if it is single, just its own way, it become weaker. So then what happened? Unknowingly, because of our thinking pattern, the way we think and associate with the feelings, and it start to multiply. So it's kind of like the thoughts, another way, it's kind of like a transformers. And the flow recharge. So when the flow recharge, and it's kind of like it's conditioned by the vitality, that's the recharging itself, called the vitality, energy. So that energy or the vitality conditioned by the heat. When you die, when the mind disappears, when the consciousness disappear from you, one of the very first thing happening to your body is it start to get cold. And the desire, the feelings, wanting, keep your heat up. So with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, with the blood, it always keep this current flow inside you. And that flow itself we call the life force, vitality, energy. And it brings the heat. So when the thoughts become more and more and more, what happening, that heat become more and more higher. So when the heat go up, and sometimes it sabotage to its own system, and then the system collapse. That collapsing moment we call unbalance. And that is where you get angry, sad, disappointed, worry. So like that. Why? Because unknowingly your thinking pattern became more strong. And then the heat go up. Like as example, when you become lazy, when you sleepy, your blood pressure doesn't go higher. But when you get angry, the more lust, the more desire. See what happened? You're sweating, you're feeling high. When you feel lazy, you don't feel high. That it doesn't go to. So that is one thing. And then other one is when the thinking pattern become too slow, that because of the laziness, sleepiness. And that way also, the deeper the vitality, because it conditioned by the heat, it need a certain kind of flow. When you slow down the flow, and what happening, the physically you start to feel lethargic, lazy, and that sleepiness again sabotage to your mind. So then when it comes to the tranquility state, your awareness start to work 100%, and the thinking pattern become more and slow. And what happening there, your thinking pattern become slow, but the energy of your body completely interfere with the awareness. So awareness and the thinking, the thoughts, two different things. So now in the conventional way of energy, the behavior is we always interfere with the thoughts. But once you come to the balance with the physical balance in this very conventional way of balance, what happening, you have ability to transfer this energy, because it in a conventional way, it's always related to the mind and the thinking pattern. So that's why when the mind, when we have too many busy mind, your current go higher, and if it is low, the pressure, the current go low. But once you keep in the mid balance, what happening in a certain level, you have power to transfer this thinking energy to awareness. So once you bring your thinking energy, because now in conventional life as ordinary people, our body run by the connecting with the mind. So then it with the thoughts. So once you come to the balance, in that level, you have ability to transfer it to awareness. Because the awareness comes as a result of your physical mental balance. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. So once that you turn that, once you activate your awareness, what happening, your physical start to follow the flow of awareness, dropping the pattern of the thoughts. And then it start to go with that flow, and then it not depending or responding to the thought. So that is tranquility state. And that is where your body, your mind, your entire nerve system, sympathetic nerve system, parasympathetic nerve system, all the electron, neutron, proton, atom, this everything, and start to connect it to the awareness. So the awareness means it is not only one point, your whole body going to have that awareness. So it like this. This is how it's kind of like you activate your whole body. Now, when you are seeing something in front of you, that it is through your eye. So, and when you touch from your right hand, it is, you feel it's on your right arm. It's very limited. That is the very physical way of understanding. But when it comes to the awareness, once you open the awareness, thus as imagine that somebody go in front of you. So then there is ability that you can see through your eyes. But when you have the complete awareness, 100% fully activate, and your the body connecting with the awareness, dropping the thoughts, what happening? Even somebody go behind you, you can feel it. See that, so that it is, you are not going to be very limited to only one organ. So even the sound comes, and sometimes, as you know, in a very conventional way of the sound comes, sometimes if something that the coming from right side, you can hear it more properly, and your left side cannot hear. But when you come to the complete awareness, understand this very carefully. When it comes to the very clear awareness, what will happen? Your right and left get the same level of hearing. So like that, you activate your whole body when you connect it to the awareness. But in the very first level, to get into that, what you need to do, you have to bring the physical mental balance in very conventional level. So whatever you do, and be mindful and develop that balance. Don't allow to collapse inside you. Keep the physical comfort. Don't be with less energy. That is not with the Buddhism. You cannot go to this practice giving hard time to your body. 2,600 years ago, Buddha gave this science to the world, but still we fail to understand that or to follow it. Why? Because of we want to look more beautiful, more shape, get the shape. Why? Because the self-centered mind, and the self-centered mind bring the desires. And the desire, when you go with the desires, it sabotages you and it collapses inside. You become more disappointed, miserable, unhappy person deeper inside you because you want to look beautiful. See, that's what's happening. So then in conventionally try to develop the balance. And once you get that conventional balance, and remember, it slowly help for you to gain the spiritual balance. Of course, you have to practice for that. but it at the same time remain. Forgetting the conventional life, you cannot get into spiritual development. That is the Buddha's teaching. That is one of the major important thing you have to understand. Forgetting, criticizing, attacking, destroying, resisting the conventional life. There is no way you can gain spiritual development. And finding the balance with the conventional, and that balance will give you certain understanding. With that understanding, you can go to the next level. So then remember yourself in day-to-day life, especially when you feel that yourself, and listen to that and see what you feel, why you feel like that way, and then work for that. So you are your own teacher. So you have to understand how to behave yourself. And that itself will help you to develop deeper insight. So in day-to-day life, with the physical activities, and then remember, it also become part of your spiritual practice. The way you maintain your physical is the beginning of your spirituality. So don't destroy that foundation, and find the balance and keep that balance and maintain that balance in a certain level. When you find that balance itself mean you awaken your awareness. When you look for the balance itself inside you, you tune to the awareness. Because without awareness, you cannot get the balance. So from there, then you can go to the next level. So with that, I bless upon. With this all the good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi dīgāyuko bhava. Ittavata ca ammihi sampadang punya sampadang. Sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vang hotu. Sabba dukkha pamuncatu.